Hi, and welcome to Design It with Tammie Gibbs. I'm Tammie, and today we're going to be exploring some Christmas things. So we're going to be doing some clip art and talking about how we can use that clip art to either sell as clip art, turn into digital products. It's getting into that last ditch effort to get products ready for the Christmas holidays, and I just wanted to pop in and explore that with you today. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to be using Artistly 6 as my generator, which has so many different types of generators that we can use and explore. Artistly, for those of you who've never are not familiar with that generator, it is a one-time pay. I have an affiliate link down in the comments or down in the description, and you're welcome to leave me a comment if you have questions about it. But anyway, it is a one-time, and I purchased it in fall of 2023. I'm very familiar with it. I've gone all the way from version 1 all the way to now. We are on version 6. It is rumored that soon we'll have a version 7. I've never had to pay anything else for it, and I have less than $150 in it. So it has been a really good investment for me, and a lot of my videos use it because, for one, I've just found it has been very, very beneficial to me and my digital product business. So let's get started on this. So we want to explore some Christmas things. So I'm going to show you guys it, and a lot of you already own my playbooks. And so if you have the Ultimate Themes Playbook, we're going to pop in, and I'm going to show you right here. This is what it looks like, the Ultimate Themes Playbook. And give me just a second. All right, so this is what it looks like. I'm going to show you the table of contents so you can kind of see how, well, this is the index. So there's also a table of contents that kind of goes through how to use it and the different areas. So you can pop to them. It's all hyperlinked and everything. But this is where you can start. I also have a profitable products playbook that also gives you ideas on different products to make. But the Ultimate Themes Playbook actually does a little bit of that as well. It just doesn't, it's not concentrated on products. So you can start either way. You can start with the products and go through and find a product you want to build, and then go into themes and choose a theme to apply to the product. And then you can go into the AI artist playbooks and help to build those out, because those have all the great phrases that can help you build your prompts to create original artwork. So that's kind of how that works. I've tried to give you a lot of products that will references so that you can build more efficiently, that you don't have to go through and do all this research on your own. And I would say that all of this is pretty evergreen. Most of your common themes that are running and trends that you're running into are based on a lot of these concepts, which means that you can actually apply the things that are inside of this, inside of these playbooks, to these more modern, the trends that hit, so like, for instance, if, you want to do a baby shower invitation and you're wanting to do it around a market theme, the ones that homegrown and all of those kind of things, then, you're going to be able to find those themes. You're going to be able to find phrase banks that are going to help you build those individual items to make into that trend. So anyway, let's just look. So I think that we're going to select, this is the actual index, so it breaks it down a little bit more specifically so that you can go to exactly what you want to do. So here are just a few things, and let's see here. We've got backyard birds. We've got a lot of winter things. We've got adventure and travel. So let's just look down here, and we're going to pick out something, and then we're going to apply that theme. We're going to work on it, and then we're going to use with our Christmas and winter art and Clipart playbook that's just come out. This is Wildlife Encounters here. Winter Sports. We've got rainforest creatures, forest and woodland creatures. Let's go to that one. Okay, so we're going to, what this does, and this is going to walk it through. So this gives us some ideas for pack titles. So we could do an Enchanted Forest clip art bundle. We could do a Woodland Whimsy illustration set. A Creatures of the Canopy set. Okay, so let's just say we're going to use this Woodland Whimsy illustration set. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab that. I'm going to copy that, okay? And then I'm going to go over here, and I've got a little sticky note program. So I'm going to grab my little sticky note. Oops. Shouldn't have done that. Let's go back and grab it. Okay. So I want a new one. Okay. That's where I put my little notes here. Okay, so I've got my little sticky note that's got our pack title. So we're going to be doing Woodland Whimsy. Okay, so this gives us a theme snapshot. So it's it gives us kind of a basis that we can build off of. But then we're doing the Whimsy one. So this is going to give us a clip art element list. So this is some things that it says most commonly would be expected in that pack. So some mushrooms, some trees, evergreen trees, ferns, acorns, rocks and pebbles and stuff like that. And then for forest animals, we have some different animals and things that would naturally fit. Now it goes much farther, and now each one of these, this is a huge 722 page thing, so it's going to break things down and give you so much content that you can build into your packs or into your products. So this could also be applied to building things for like homeschool. Like if you wanted to do a worksheet, then these would be the animals that you would pull in, and maybe you would give a little information about the habitat for each one of the animals. So you could build question and answer things, and so you can do all kinds of things. It even gives you some invitation stationary phrasing like welcome to the woodland, let the forest adventure begin, an enchanted woodland gathering. It gives you sub packs, so you could build around that one pack, but then if you wanted to break it down, you could do storybook forest friends, cute stylized animals in clothing or with accessories. So that would be along the lines of, say, Winnie the Pooh, where, Winnie the Pooh has a little, some of the animals wear little clothes. He has the little t-shirt on. So lots of your Disney things have animals that take on human, characteristics. So you've also got the little woodland baby animals. You've got the autumn forest, the winter woodland, the forest picnic, blankets, baskets, and things like that with birds perched on stumps. So it gives you a lot of different, what I consider idea starters to get your imagination working in the right direction. Okay, so it also gives you ideas for seamless patterns or digital papers. I don't really try to do seamless just myself because I just don't have the patience for it. Those of you who do seamless papers, it's just harder. It's harder to generate them. It's a lot of work. And so I normally just, if I'm going to sell a paper or I'm going to attach a paper pack with, include it with my clip art, I'm going to give it to them and let it be a digital paper, like a background. And then if they want to work with that and try to make it seamless, then that's good and all. But I don't really have the patience to do that. So this just gives you some ideas on things that you can work with. Full background scenes. It also breaks it down to full background scenes. So you've got, a mossy forest floor with mushrooms and rocks. We go over here and you've got the invitation phrasing. You've got prompt friendly color combos. So this also gives you a little starter on some colors that you can use. So for the storybook inspired palette, it gives you a certain color, and then it has like the winter wonderland. It also gives you suggested art styles. So this alone gives you a lot of ideas. It does not get into a lot of specific prompting. So you can take the other playbooks and you can build off of this. So what we can do is we actually could start with, for instance, this is a scene, so it has multiple things in it. Most of the time, if we're going to build a pack, we're going to be doing individual animals and stuff. So we can try, okay, so whimsical storybook would be like a trend connection. So great for kids' products, stickers, and classroom decor. So these are art styles and how they connect with different trends. So boho, you know, it says stylized mushrooms, rustic textures. You've got minimalist line art that works for planners. Vintage nature sketches for like more like junk journals and printable wall art. And then you've got the seasonal or event variations. So in spring, you've got blooming wildflowers. In summer, leafy canopies, butterflies, and forest picnics. Autumn, red, orange foliage, migrating birds. Winter, snow-covered things, pine cones. So with each one of these, it's broken down to give you a capsule of what that theme encompasses so that you can work from it. So we've got mock-up suggestions and marketing keywords that you can then use. Add-on ideas for higher sales. You could do a woodland-themed seamless pattern pack, editable name print templates for nursery art, journaling cards or flashcards, printable woodland wall art, mini forager notes, printable notebook, a baby milestone card with forest friends. And then it tells you a little bit about the sales potential. Okay. All right, so then this goes into the other one. But we're going to work in this one this morning, and I'm trying to go through it really quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up here, and we've already identified that we want to use this Woodland Whimsy illustration set. So we're going to pick out the items that we want to include. So I want to include a rabbit, a raccoon, and let's do a hedgehog maybe. Let's do something different. So, you know, rabbit, squirrel, chipmunk. So that's what we're going to work on. Okay, and we're also going to make this a Christmas oriented. So we're going to go into this storybook Forest Friends. So we want to do the stylized animals in clothing or with accessories. So we're going to work on that. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go over, and now I have not done any of this ahead of time. So we're going to go, and we're now going to try to find a base template, a base prompt that we can build off of, okay? So we're going to go over here to our brand new Christmas and Winter Art and Clipart, and we're going to try to find like an aesthetic and what we want to do. So we're going to go to our table of contents, and we're going to be looking for something that will fit. So we're going to go all the way to the sweet, whimsical, and playful Christmas, and we're going to go to whimsical storybook, okay? So we're going to go to whimsical storybook, and we're going to slightly exaggerated portions with a natural expression. I'm gonna do that one, and I'm going to put it over here. I've already kind of started my little thing. I'm gonna grab that, and then my color direction. Let's do these right here. Let's try this first, and then we'll apply different color palettes and show you how it affects what we're doing. Okay, so we're going to grab that. Okay, and then we're going to go into our I don't want any of those. Let's go down here. Characters. Okay, so animals. Let's see, acting as a wearing one small car. Da, 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 da. Objects. Patterns and backgrounds. We don't want that. Lighting. It's giving us some of those for the animals, but we want to. Okay, so we're gonna go with we're gonna go with this one. This is a small red fox as our sample example. Okay, so we're gonna start with him. We're gonna go to create a design, and we're gonna go into the artistic design just to get us started. So this is our sample prompt, and I'm going to change in this quite a bit. I just want to see what it looks like to start with. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that I like for you to see the trial and error process of building it. And our very first good image is going to set the precedent for us to build our whole kit from. So we want to get our style down, we want to get our colors down. Okay, so we've got a fox here now. Okay, so let me show you what we need to do. Okay, small red fox wearing a narrow green scarf and carrying a brass key. Okay, this is too busy for what I want to do because I want the little fox to have more personality and everything. So we're going to add some things to it. We're going to go over here and we're going to add this one. And we'll add it right here to start with. And see what that does. And then I'm going to change the colors, and then I'm going to start eliminating some things in that. And this is really good if you don't. Now, if you are more advanced in your prompting, you're going to start with your own thing. Okay, so we've got the exaggerated thing. The fox himself, I'm not crazy about, but what we're going to do first before we do that anything else is we're going to actually change the generator and see what it does. So we're going to go into the AI Illustrator. I'm going to try the grunge scrapbook, and we're going to put this one in here. So that we can show you how I do it. I try it on in different generators to see. Now see, this is more in line with what we want to do. Okay, so what we're going to do now is start eliminating things, okay? We don't want him carrying the brass key, following tiny footprints, or any of that. We just want to isolate him. So we're going to remove all of that, the cottage door and everything, and then concentrate on him. Now I'm going to go into my animal playbook, and I'm going to go into these art styles here, and I'm going to add this Scandinavian illustration aesthetic. Okay, so see, we're beginning to get what we want, but we're going to add to this now. Okay, we're going to add this to the front, and this is going to hopefully change it up a little bit, change the direction of what our fox is going to be. It all starts with that one, and then that's what you build from. Once you get that down, then you can change your animals once you get the look. Okay, so here we go. This is so cute. Now we've got more something that we could sell. Okay, so we've got a cute little fox here, and I really like that. Okay, love it, love it, love it. Okay, we can also add, well, it's already got the watercolor, so we can go with this. Now, we're going to go back to our ultimate, and we're going to do an owl, okay? So we're going to go back here. We're going to take small out, and we're going to put a owl. And see what he does. You know you have a winner when you get a prompt that will allow you to then begin to generate your other animals. So there's our owl. Okay, I think he could probably go along with it. Now we don't all have to have all of them with green. We could change the color of that. Okay, so let's see what we're going to get with our other animals. We'll go back to here, and we wanted to have a chipmunk. Now once we get our basic set, then we can begin to add other, like what they're doing. So here's our chipmunk. Really cute. Okay. And then we want a squirrel and a rabbit. Okay. So all we're doing now is just changing out our Okay, so I'm only going to build like one more animal, and then we're going to start adding to them. And the cool thing about it is as you develop, okay, so there's our squirrel. As you develop your, we're going to do a rabbit. You could use all of these for another pack. So you could continue on with that. But as we develop, we're actually going to have the basis for probably several packs that we can do. You're not just randomly creating. Okay, so there we have a bunny. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back into our into here, and what we're going to do is we're going to okay, so let's just say we've got a candy shop. Okay, this is an interior thing, so this is a way that we can do depending on what we want to do. So we're going to take this, and we're actually going to put all of this in brackets. And then we're going to add this candy shop. With inside holding a jar of Christmas candy. Okay, so we're just going to see. Haven't tested this, so in theory, we'll see what we get and how it changes it. So now we have our little Scandinavian squirrel. It's not really, it is candy, but it's not a jar. It didn't do that, but it put it inside with the candy. Okay, so how could we do this now? So we just want that one animal, and we want that animal to be, let's go up here, back to our whimsical. Okay, so let's use Candy Shop Christmas Styling. And I'm going to show you how that works with just our basic animal. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say slightly wearing a Christmas sweater, and then we're going to put Candy Shop Styling and see what that does. I put odd things together that nobody else would ever think to put together, and in odd ways. But I just want you to see what's possible. So now we've gotten sort of a little design, and now our chipmunk is where we could take and we could remove his background. We can go over to Pixel Cut, and I can remove his background real fast. Let's see. Did I not? Okay, hang on. I got it downloading. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to remove his background. And here we go. Now I'm going to download him. Actually, I don't have to. I'll just show you here. This is what he looks like. Isn't he so cute? So now we can apply to this. We can apply, and we could build animals around the same thing. Now we can also change, and let's go back in. Wrong one. Okay, let's go in and let's change it to peppermint striped. And the next one we will wearing Christmas sweater, Candy Shop, Christmas styling, and peppermint striped. We'll add that in. And we're going to change the color to narrow red scarf. Okay, and then we're going to change our chipmunk to a bunny. Now that one went a little slightly out of the loop. So let's go back and do a rabbit to see. It changed it up a little too much. Sometimes it will do that. Bunny. Rabbit. But the thing about it is, if we wanted to go that style, we would have yet another. We could regenerate, and we could go. The thing about it is, as you're creating, if you keep your eyes open, you're going to be able to create multiple different. Okay, here's a better bunny version with the candy stripes. And then here we've got this, which would also potentially be a whole different. We could do different animals like this. We could do the squirrel. And see what that does. So you start off on one thing, and as you experiment with it, that's where your eye and your curating of your designs works. See, there's our squirrel. So you could literally do, you know, the different squirrels. You could do a chipmunk. You could do the owl. And if you change the aspect ratio, you get a totally different look. Oh, we're doing a square again. I didn't change the aspect ratio. I need to change the aspect ratio back to the other one, the 916. Okay, so here's our owl that would go along with them. And here's our owl that could go in this. See, you've got a pack that could go here. How cute is that? You could do different owls. So if we just wanted to do an owl pack, which sometimes we do just specific animals and not the same one, what we would do is we would take and maybe do 4 and see what the different ones are. We could give them caps. We could put them in a particular situation. I really like the owls. I think that's really cute. We could put them with trees. See, there's another owl wearing sweaters, different kinds, different looks. So now we have all these owls. We could change just out the design direction. The Christmas Playbook, I mean, it's just there's just so much direction that we can also change, and let's change it up pretty much with bold. Let's see. Da, da, da. Let's try this, and I'll show you how it can change all of your look when you just change the color scheme. Okay, so if we change this, these colors out, and again, when you change the aspect ratio, you a lot of times change the actual animal. That one didn't do. Let me show you. We're going to actually take and put this at the beginning. So that may be it. Sometimes you have to work it because something overrides the colors. Look, it actually changed the colors of the... Let's try that again. And I've done penguins. I've been doing some... There we go. So now we have more. See, those are really cute. Okay, so what can you do with things like this? Okay, so let's go to Etsy. And we're going to look at Christmas. We're just going to look for Christmas Clipart. And okay, so bestsellers. Oh, the mouse is so cute. I'm all into mice too. And the animals, oh my goodness. From the animal playbook, oh my gosh. I've applied some of the Christmas things to them and they are so super cute. Okay, so here we've got some and they just have the scarves. So we're right on track with that. That's a bestseller too. You can apply it to the cows. You can, I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do for Christmas. But let's talk about application. So you can make clip art, obviously. But there's a lot of other things that you can do around Christmas to make money with your art, and why the playbooks make that so easy. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to, okay, let me move this out of the way. Okay, so we're going to go back to the table of contents again so that you can get an idea. Okay, so this one's going to go through traditional Christmas. So you can have nostalgic, you can have all sorts of things. So you've got your traditional, and then you go into your vintage, and you have all sorts of textures. So what we're going to do is we're going to find something else that we're going to add in with our animal situation. Okay, dressed in deep velvet with cream, warm cream trend. Okay, so let's apply this to our animal. Let's go back in here and we're going to see where we can add this. Okay. Okay, right now it says that it is a sweater, but we're going to take that away. And we're just going to paste in here. Dressed in deep red velvet with warm cream trim. And we're going to take the scarf out. So let's see what we end up with that. Just want to show you some versatility here. So look how cute. Now we've got a really cute character wearing a really cute little outfit, and it has elevated our whole entire design. So now I want to probably do this one in this different shape so we get a nice large character that could be applied to lots of different things. And here we're going to have a cute owl. Look at that, how cute. Now we have a real character, a real owl character, and we have gone from the very basics to now we've elevated this to something that probably everybody's not going to have out there. So we can do like 3 and see what we end up with from that, and then maybe we change it up just a little bit more. We can change the colors. We can change the accents. We can give it more direction. Look how cute. It's like almost like Santa owls. So cute. Okay. This one's a little scary. Weird looking. But we could even, we can work with the expressions. It could be we could say a happy owl. And see, let's see, where's the owl? Slightly exaggerated proportions. Let's do a happy owl. We can add spectacles, round spectacles. Okay. This is a different owl. Okay, so let's go down here. Change the aspect ratio again, and then we can put wearing spectacles. And I mean, you really can just keep adding until you get. Now, if you want to use that same character, you need to take it into something like Human Stylizer or something like that. Oh, look how cute. That's adorable. It's adorable. It's really cute. We could give it more. We could say a denim romper. Dressed in a denim romper with deep red velvet and warm cream trim. Okay. I didn't change the aspect ratio, so it's going to give us the short version. Look how cute. Still have a little bit of that trim. But this is how you do it. And then let's go back in. Okay, so now carrying a lantern and a wrapped parcel. So we could add this to our prompt. And we're going to change it. And we're going to add this to it to give it a little bit more. Now, it's not going to give us the same character. If we want to use that character, we could take it into Human Stylizer and we could say add this to it, and then that would give us our same character but add those elements. But this way it'll just give us a different variation of this prompt. And so let's see, we want the owl. Let's put this here. Carrying a lantern and a paper wrapped parcel. And you can see I have messy prompts. It's okay. Okay, so now let's see. Look how cool. So now we've elevated it that much more. We've added it. And now we have a character that is with the lantern and all this other. We can go in and we can work on the order so that it, because it kind of seems like it's getting away from maybe the art style. So we can actually take this and I think we've kind of gotten away from the watercolor. So I took the watercolor out somewhere. Where's it supposed to be? Watercolor. I wanted watercolor in there. So, oh, there it is. Pencil and watercolor on texture paper. There it is. Okay, let's put that at the beginning and see if it helps to bring that back to the forefront. It's beginning to look a little bit too realistic there. So, there we go. Perfect. That is so super cute. Let's do one like this now. And then we're going to go back and objects and ornaments. So now we've gone from kind of the foresty into more of taking that animal and putting it into a more traditional Christmas setting. So let's look at some of these other things. Typography and lettering. We don't have any lettering right now. Patterns and backgrounds. What else could we add? Or what direction could we take it in? We could add this gently centered greeting card composition to it. Let's see how that is. Okay, where's our animal? Where's our owl? Oh, look, how cute. Such personality. This is a little out of place. I'm not sure how it's holding it, but we could redo that one. But now let's change out, and it's not an owl anymore. It's a happy, let's see, what do we want? Chipmunk? So you can take it in all sorts of directions. And can you do it with, there's our happy chipmunk. Very cool. Okay, so now is it possible for us to do this with another character, like a cute little girl, okay? So a happy, let's just put a little girl with toddler curls. Minimalistic facial features. I'm just up for testing anything, so normally my little girls take a little bit more work, but okay. So we did get a cute little girl. Now she looks like she would be really cute for a little vintage thing, so let's see if we can see what getting a couple more of those little girls out of it. But basically we've got the same prompt, we've just changed it into a person rather than a okay, those are kind of cute. Now this one actually looks a little bit more, and that goes to show you that sometimes you have to work a little bit more on the specific prompts. If I were curating, I would put probably this one and this one together. That one would be not. Maybe on this one it looks a little different. Now what I would do is I would try this now over into, I would go back into the artistic and see if I could work with that prompt in artistic and see how it interprets it. It really did not do the minimalistic very well. So I would go in and then I would work on those. But that's a whole nother video. This video has gone long enough. I've shown you, how you can go in and you can take from the different playbooks. And so don't forget about the playbooks you've already purchased. Go back in and what you're going to do is probably develop some of your, oh, see, now this is cute. Now she's cute. Let's see what she would look like if we did this. If this would be something we could do. Now, one thing that artistic does a lot of times is when you put minimalistic on there, a lot of times it will close their eyes. So you have to kind of work with that. But it gives you a different direction. And then I'm going to go with here and try the artistic designer too and see what it would look like in there too. Just to give you an idea. There we go. So now that's a cute little girl. This would be something you could definitely work with. Gives you that hand-drawn look. It actually did open her eyes. They're still not minimal. I didn't say dot eyes, I just said minimal. And then this gives you a totally different look. This one does give you the dot eyes, but it does have a more specific kind of look to it. Okay, so anyway, if you don't have these playbooks, the ones that I used today were the the animals, the Ultimate Themes Playbook, and I also used our brand new, this is the brand new one, the AI Artist Playbook, Christmas and Winter Art and Clipart. This one, y'all, this one is awesome. Let's go through the table of contents on this one so you'll see what all it has with it. So it does have the traditional, vintage, and nostalgic Christmas. And it breaks it down into classic, old world, Victorian, vintage, storybook, retro, and then there are sample images. And then it goes to natural and cozy, natural, and country Christmas. That's rustic, woodland, Nordic, and Scandinavian Christmas, cottage Christmas, neutral. Elegant, part 4 is elegant, decorative, and collected Christmas, which is grand millennial, opulent, art deco, elegant, minimal, all of those type. And then you've got sweet, whimsical, and playful Christmas. That's kind of where we were working today. And then you've got magical, moody, and imaginative Christmas. So that covers things like enchanted forest and gothic looking things. Christmas places and winter settings is all, like Christmas villages, coastal winter Christmas, things like that. And then there is a sacred Christmas that covers nativities and angels and things like that. And then you have a reference library, quick style finder, master build a direction reference, master art style and treatment finder, just to show you what this kind of looks like. This is showing you, how to use different ones, like choose which, to get the look you're looking for. And then it gives you the watercolor treatments, and we can go back in and you can change these things out and you get different effects. So let's just change this one out. And instead of it having the colored this, we'll just change it out and see what a difference that would make. So you can see it's a little bit different. Let's see if we can see the difference here. That just changing that style up. Let's go back. We'll do one more. Let's choose a different one. Let's do this vintage greeting card and see what that looks like. So there's so many different elements that you can apply and change up. So once you get a really good prompt, then you're just changing out different things in it. You're not really starting over. Let's see what this one looks like. Oh, that's pretty. Look how pretty that is. Okay, so we're going to go and look how cool that is. That's a great treatment. Love that image. And then you could remove the background on this one. Let's go back in and let's do that. Download it and let's go over to Pixel Cut and see what that would look like. Okay. Move the background. Oh, that's pretty. Look how cool that looks. That's an awesome image. Okay, so let's go back in. I'm sorry, I'm going to hold you just a little bit longer so you can, for the ones that want to. Let's see. Let's try different applicate colored pencils and pencil lead. Storybook. Set a watercolor background. Let's apply that one to it. So say you get it done, and then you can literally change up and do different packs and different things based on the look that you want. The different styles are what really open this up. Now all of these are under the, that I'm working on now, it was under the grunge scrapbook. Oh, look at that. That's a really cool look too. Look at that. That's awesome. It's pretty awesome. And I mean, there's just so many different ones, you know. Let's try this and see what this does. See if it changes it up any. I mix and match everything together because you never know. Some things look really stupid when you do that, and some things turn out amazingly. Okay. This is all about geometrics, but it did give us a different look. So anyway, I've had fun. I hope you've had fun exploring the different playbooks, exploring the new Christmas and Winter Art and Clipart playbook. It was a lot of fun. It is also was being introduced at a much lower price than normal. So go back and check it out. Check the one on the animals out. Those are brand new, and they both are still right now as of 7/31/2026. Those are still on sale for $9.99. So, and both of those books are in excess of 300 pages each. So they're not tiny books. In fact, the Christmas one is over, I want to say it's over 500 pages. So it's a way to get that at a much better discount. And the thing about it is, these things may say Christmas, but it's got things, elements that you can use all the time. A lot of that styling that I just showed, you could apply that to literally anything. That styling that we just did, you can go in, and whether it is for a Christmas thing or not, you can apply it, you know. So I'm trying to find something that's not Christmas that you could apply that style to. Let's do this. Let me go in and let's go and do this delicate and see what it does to this. And again, I haven't tried it, so whatever we get's whatever we get. You learn more this way. It might be a little bit more time consuming to watch me go through it, but you're going to learn better that way. So that's cute. So just changing up the style a little bit gave us a different look. Okay, so I think I've covered everything. If you have any questions about any of the playbooks, about any of what I did, about how I do it, why I do it that way, or anything like that, The biggest thing I can say about the why I do it this way is because the more variations that I put into my prompting, the less likely somebody else is going to have something that looks exactly like mine. Now, you may get similar, but the way you piece things together, unless you're literally copying down and duplicating my exact prompts and using those, then you should get something different that has an element of you in it. And as we progress, as more people begin to use AI for their own art, then the ones that are going to be more unique are going to be the ones that stand out and more likely are going to still have a business. If you're doing what everybody else is doing, then you're going to be limiting your ability to sell. I'm going to be doing, and watch for it, I'm going to have a video out next that's going to be all about how we can apply our art that we're creating, that we love to create, that may be losing some market share for clip art and stuff. So we're going to figure out some ways. I'm going to share some ways that you can use your art to continue to make money in some rather unique ways, or ways that maybe you haven't thought about. I'm going to help you with that as well. So anyway, thank you for watching. Be sure and check out the description for a link to my website, which actually has where you can go to Etsy or Gumroad if you're interested in purchasing any of the playbooks or any of my actual clip art. If you are just not there yet and you just want to use some of my art, then I have clip art packs there as well. I hope that you'll subscribe for additional notifications, so that when I do put out my videos that you can do them. If these are longer videos than you can stand, just, put it on the TV or something, and design while you're listening or watching or whatever. You don't have to sit there and do that. Instead of, you can put it on your TV, and that makes it a little bit easier to follow the longer tutorials. But like I said, the reason I do that, the reason I do trial and error, the reason I let you see me do it the way I do it, is so that you're not misled into thinking that your art should be perfect the first time, because it's a process. And finding just the right image that you want to work with, the right style that you want to work with, that takes a little bit of time. And it will move faster as you become comfortable piecing together your prompts. Now I don't have to go and, I do them a different way. I already, a lot of times the phrasing gets embedded into my brain. So when I go to do it, I already know those phrases because I've used them from the playbooks so many times. So that's going to happen too. You're naturally going to think, oh, that phrase will look good with this. That phrase together with, this other is going to work well. I want this look, or I want that look. But you always have those references to go back, and those are not meant to just be read. They're meant to do exactly the way I did it. Clip them up to the top of your browser and go into the PDFs, and then copy and paste. That's the way they were designed. They were designed with hyperlinks so that it makes it easier for you to use them. And anyway, happy creating. Until next time, always remember that you are what makes your art different. So never underestimate you. So have a great day.